Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. I'm Miss Charlotte, a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures. Very often they are celebrities, and today I am analyzing the astrological chart of Kim Kardashian. Now currently I have my synastry chart for Kim and Kourtney loading, and I was watching it back and there was a point that I wanted to expand upon in regards to Kim, and I didn't do it in that video. So I thought, why not just film another video and do it? Yeah, do it again. Do it here. I'm not the biggest fan of Kim Kardashian. I admired her for quite a while. You know, like, she built an empire off a homemade pornographic video. Like, it's genius. Absolute, like genius. Whew. That is feminism taken a tad too far. Like so toxic. And, you know, she's done very, very well. But then last year, she desecrated Marilyn Monroe's dress. And to me, Marilyn is somewhat of a sacred figure. And I'm gonna be honest, Marilyn to me is the female Christ. And her dress was desecrated. It was almost like a humiliation ritual. Like, there's me feeding the conspiracy theories about Kim Kardashian and the Illuminati. And after that, I was just done with her, to be honest. And I'm still not, even as I look at this chart, I'm still kind of like, ugh. But I believe that astrology is meant to help us understand ourselves and our journey and our contribution to the world and what we have to do. And it's also meant, more importantly, to help us understand other people. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to analyze her chart. It tastes like vinegar, but I'll do it. So let's do it. All right. So let's talk about the top of her chart, because the very top of your chart, the midheaven, that indicates your public face, your reputation, your work, your career, how you make your money, how the world sees you, what the world wants from you, more importantly. And for Kim, she's a midheaven in Virgo. I know she's a Libra and she's got a bit of Scorpio, she's got a bit of Sagittarius, but she is a Virgo to the world. And that has a lot, you know, her becoming more popular over the years post pornographic video has a lot to do with her cleaning herself up and becoming a more wholesome figure, because Virgo midheaven is a very wholesome placement. I myself have a Virgo midheaven. That's why I'm trying not to swear so much. That's why I have to look, you know, kind of sweet. There is, you know, it's one of those placements where you have to do the work, do it well, and look effortless, right? I'll be honest with you. This is the 5th time I have filmed this, maybe the 7th, because I messed up. And I was like, I can't put this on air. I can't upload this. So here I am doing it again and again and again and again. And Kim Kardashian is like that. You know, she is a perfectionist with the way she looks, especially her Venus. And Venus is your beauty, is your values, it's your love language, but it is beauty, lies in a conjunction with a large orb. I'm generous. I'm one of those astrologers that looks at a conjunction as like 9 degrees or less. Some astrologers are like, no more than 5. And I'm like, no, we'll stick to single digits, okay? This Venus is in the same sign as her midheaven. It is 9 degrees away. She is known for her beauty, right? And she also has Jupiter in an exact conjunction here. So Jupiter is an expansive planet, right? It's a very generous planet. It can indicate gifts and talents, where you do well, where you are lucky. And hers is on the midheaven of career. So these placements together make her successful, make her rich, make her respected. Once you get past the initial, you know, springboard into fame, you can actually really admire her work ethic, her heart. She's a very hard worker. And she also has some really nice sextiles with Mercury in Scorpio in a conjunction with Uranus. So guys, I hate to break it to you, she's kind of brilliant. Like, she really is. Mercury Mercury rules her midheaven, actually. So to have the midheaven ruler sextiling, see these blue lines? It's a sextile. Shows that she has a brilliant mind. She knows how to use it. She can marry her mind with aesthetic. And actually, that's at 19 degrees. So it's an exact sextile with her 19-degree Venus. So her mind and her looks fused. They're in alignment. I wouldn't say they're fused together, but they're in alignment with each other. And she knows how to look the part. She knows how to speak. She is not messy in interviews. She's very graceful. And she has her mind tapped into the pulse of humanity. That's what happens when your Mercury is in a conjunction with a generational planet like Uranus. And it does play out in the 11th house, which is a bit of a psychic placement. She's quite intuitive, actually. I think she is quite intuitive. I don't want to go as far as to say that she's a psychic, but I think she's incredibly intuitive, and she understands her image, and she understands what people are looking at. She understands how to craft the veneer. It's very interesting. She is brilliant. Now, her forays into so many different industries. So you think of like makeup, fashion, law. I mean, she also had that I'm sure she has investments in technology as well. That makes a lot of sense because mercurial midheavens, such as, Gemini, Virgo midheavens, they do really well when they don't stay in one lane. They do really well when they can monetize all of the skills that they have. And mercurial midheavens are known for analysis. They're known for speech. They're known, it's a very intellectual midheaven. That's why she has so many different businesses. So interesting. It's very, very interesting. Let's talk about her Libra placement. So this is the messy pornographic video stuff right here. I mean, we could argue it's also with her. There's Mars plays a part in here as well. The sun is the ego. Wherever the sun shines is where you have honor and glory, right? It's one of the most visible parts of you. And her sun shines in the 11th house. So she's a Libra, but she's what I call an Aquarius Libra because she has her sun in the 11th house, and the 11th house is the Aquarius house. The 11th house is the internet, is the network. It is it's humanity. It's invention. It is chaos. It is innovation, right? And she's a very innovative person. So her sun shining in that 11th house makes a lot of sense. She's a very good networker. She knows everyone. Even before she became someone, she knew everyone. She was on the peripherals of fame. And if you look at her south node, right, her south node, which is in the 2nd house but plays into the 3rd, she was on that peripheral. There's not much here. She was on the peripherals of fame, and I said that in the previous video. South node in Aquarius, no Aquarius placements. No one really sees her. Like she's like everyone's gopher. She ran a little eBay company. Like she even worked. See, she worked with the internet. It makes so much sense. And it plays out in that 3rd house of local community, Calabasas, Los Angeles, and she's been shot up into here. And we'll get there. Her north node is in Leo, the artist, the performer, the star, in the 9th house of expansion. We're going to get there. But yeah, her sun is in the 11th house. She was always destined to be famous. She's always been a bit of a socialite. I mean, Libra is a socialite sign. Aquarius, 11th house energy is also very socialite because it's air, right? These are friendship energies. 7th house, Libra, 11th house, Aquarius are friendship houses. What I can also see here is that her sun lies in a conjunction with Lilith. And I don't want to chat shit on any of you that have a conjunction with Lilith, like with the personal placement. But I'll be honest. I'm just like, red flag, red flag. So Lilith is that dark, destructive feminine, right? She is madness. If, you know, at her worst, she is madness. She's also manipulative. And in Libra, she lies and she gossips. And she's really good at facade. And when I see a sun in a conjunction with Lilith, that is someone who is incredibly self-destructive. And you have to ask yourself, would Kim Kardashian humiliate herself in public in order to get fame? Did she? Did she humiliate herself in order to get fame? Did she make out as if she was being abused to get fame? Any of you watched Ray J's lives on Instagram? You know what I mean. There's also a conjunction with Pluto, which is transformation. She would have done, and I think I've even seen an interview with her, and she said this: I would have done anything to be famous. People tell you who they are. And she said it in that interview. Now, there's a really large stellium here in Libra at the top of her chart. It is in the 10th house, but it also plays into the 11th, as that is where the 11th house cusp lies. So I'm just going to read it as both. Saturn is here, and very often Saturn in a conjunction with something indicates what you're going to be famous for. And it's in a conjunction with what? Juno, the asteroid that represents marriage. Now, I know she was famous before she married Kanye West, but marrying Kanye West launched her into icon status, legend status. He elevated her, and you could argue that she kind of brought him down. It depends on if you're a fan of Kim Kardashian or not. I mean, look at where Kanye is now. Although he did all of that himself as well. They're both very messy people. But yes, she's known for her marriage. That's one of the things she's known for, as well as her businesses. And when you have Saturn in the same sign as the sun, or even a Saturn-Sun conjunction, I know Saturn and the sun are not in a conjunction here, but they do come together in this stellium. It kind of gives she does embody some of the traits of a Capricorn, which is that workaholic energy. So yes, if you have your sun in a conjunction with Saturn, it can give you some Capricorn energy, that workaholic energy, someone that really strives to be someone. They work really hard. So yes, there we go. That is her very destructive and yet creative Libra stellium. Let's move down. You know, it's really interesting. I know that I don't want to compare her to Marilyn, but let's compare her to Marilyn in a superficial way, shall we? Marilyn Monroe also had a 13-degree fire rising. Her rising was in Leo. And she also had her Neptune in the first house. That's what Kim has. I think Kim is trying to be, in a way, a modern day Marilyn Monroe. It's not really working out that way, because I think that there's a vulnerability with Marilyn that Kim just doesn't have. They're just too different. I would argue that Britney Spears is the modern day Marilyn Monroe if we're going to compare anyone. I would say Britney Spears is it. But superficially, you know, if we look at Neptune on the ascendant, Neptune in the first house, people project their deepest fears and desires onto you. And people with Neptune in the first house, they can be very controversial people because of the projections that people put on them. Like, they are really burdened with people's hate. They are also burdened with the pedestal that they are also put up on. So it's quite difficult. It does trine. So if you look at the blue lines, so Neptune here, the blue lines are moving out to this north node. They're connecting the north node and Neptune are really well placed. Her beauty, her looks, this, because remember, the ascendant is your face, right? The ascendant is your physical appearance. It's going to take her to her destiny. It's one of the things that's going to take her where she needs to go, and that is Leo, the performer, the artist. It is in the 8th house, but it does play into the 9th house. That is where the 9th house cusp lies, and that's the house of expansion. And what rules that? Jupiter, which is on her midheaven. So ultimate fame. It's a very ruthless placement. She does have Vesta here, what is most sacred protection. I think she's very much the woman on the hill. She's going to be fine for the rest of her life. I mean, selling her came at a price, her soul, her dignity, but she got there. So yeah, it's ultimate showmanship, fame. She'll get everything that she wants. I don't really want to call it a happy ending. It's a very greedy placement for sure. I think she's got an extremely greedy placement. Some people get it all and they never pay in this life. They'll pay in the next one. And she's probably one of those people. She does also have, let's go back to her ascendant. She does have Mars in Sagittarius. That is someone, if we think of, the mascot for Sagittarius, the centaur who has a bow and arrow, the archer. That's what she is. She's someone with very lofty goals, someone who's very determined. And Mars is in the 12th house, so I can talk about how over-sexualized she is, yes, but that Mars is in a conjunction with the ascendant, so she does have control of it. She understands her sexuality and she uses it as a weapon. She is very, very ruthless, and she is very strategic with it. It's sextiling Mars at 6 degrees, so it is sextiling. You'll see these blue lines coming from the Mars, reaching her Jupiter at the late degree in Virgo, and also Saturn and Juno. So Mars is pretty favorably placed with those 10th, 11th house Libra placements. So she's very focused. She will reach the lofty goals. There's barely any. There's really no terrible aspect to that Mars, really. And Mars playing into the 1st house, that's going to be perceived as a selfish placement. Dare I say it is a selfish placement. What is she motivated by? Mars is your motivation. It's your phallus, right? It's the fire in your belly. What is she motivated by? It's on her ascendant. Herself. Like, she's just very, very self-concerned. I'm not surprised that her sister called her a narcissist. Now, the point that I wanted to expand upon that I didn't in the previous video was about this moon opposition Venus. It was concerning this. So the thing with Kim Kardashian is that her emotional nature, her Pisces moon, which is a very sensitive placement. It's a very empathic, usually kind placement. These people can love so much they lack boundaries, It's at the bottom of her chart. She loves family. She's very close to her family. The moon actually governs the 4th house. It lies in a conjunction with the IC, which marks out the 4th house cusp. This is a very private person. She's private with her emotions. And her Venus is opposing. Her Venus is at the top. So her heart, what her desires, her values are not in alignment with her emotional needs. And this is the problem with Kim Kardashian, is that everything that she puts out there on her reality show, even the crying, when she cries, it's not real. She emotionally processes properly when the cameras are turned off. You remember, she's a Libra. Libras are intelligent. I know people give them a lot of crap because they're airheads, guys, they're very, very in tune with other people. They know how to shed a tear. It's all a performance. There's not a thing on that show that she hasn't curated. Everything is planned and picked and edited to serve her. Even her crying face, which is hilarious. You know what Courtney said? You remember when Courtney laughed at her because her crying face is so ugly? It's so true. It's so funny how pretty people are like the ugliest cries. But yeah, she will only cry because it serves her. It makes her look more like a victim. Again, like Sun in the conjunction with Lilith. Everyone's hurting me. Ray J's trying to release the photos, Kanye. Can you please get them for me? And he never did that. Ray J was never going to do that. That was a whole episode. They constructed a whole episode around vilifying Ray J, making him out to be some monster when he never ever. That's why he went live on his Instagram. I watched it. The drama. I don't even watch the Kardashians, and I was present for that moment. That was crazy. So her crying, her playing victim, it all serves, it's all content. It just serves the purpose of expanding the empire. But when the cameras are off, she's a Pisces moon. I wonder if she ever, you know what? I actually do think she's pretty humiliated by the tape that she released with Ray J. I actually think she does. I don't know if she regrets it because she's got her empire because of it. She wouldn't have got it. She wouldn't have got this otherwise. She was always destined for that to. She was destined for that to happen. But I think there is a part of her that hates that is out there because it is humiliating. It is that was a humiliation ritual. She sold her soul to the devil, and her name is Kris Jenner, who is brilliant, by the way. Kris Jenner is brilliant, but she hooks out her children for sure. And we can take that literally, or we can take that metaphorically. By the way, this is all for funsies, and I know nothing. Everything is alleged for entertainment purposes only. Now, if we look at her Chiron, look at this Chiron. It is in the 5th house, but it plays into the 6th because that's where the 6th house cusp lies. But she also has her part of fortune here. The wound is where she has her greatest gift. She's not really someone that was ever going to have a 9-to-5 job. Chiron in a money sign playing out in a money house, that's someone that it has to be very creative with how they work and how they make money. And her Chiron and her part of fortune are in a really nice trine with her Venus. So the insecurities that she had around work, 9-to-5, money, even though poverty was never a problem for her, she was always worried about how she was going to make it. Like before she became famous, there was a lot of anxiety about how she was going to get there. So, I mean, the wound around money, the wound around traditional things made her famous. I think people with Chiron in Taurus is a bit of a painful placement because, and there's a whole generation of people that have this. They have a wound of tradition. They have a wound of, those old world things like marriage. Like, think about it. Her parents divorced. Her mother was a housewife that really didn't have any solid skills. I mean, I'm sure she's a very intelligent woman. She built her skill set for sure. But yeah, Chiron and Taurus people, that generation, are very worried about money, and because they come from the generation of broken homes. Those kids born in the late 70s and early 80s. So that plays into her 6th house of work. She was never going to have that 9-to-5. Also, she needs to think more about plastic surgery. People with this placement, Chiron in the 6th. I mean, The asteroid of the wound is in the 6th house of health. I wonder if she's got nerve damage for how many surgeries she's had, like stuff like that. I think she's got to be very, very careful of that. The part of fortune playing into the 6th house, I mean, I could say, you know, she's very fortunate with her beauty. The trine with her Venus is good, like surgery enhances her beauty. But yeah, I wonder if along the way, at some point, she might start looking more preserved than natural. It's not really squared by much other than the nodes. We'll see what she looks like in 50 years. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out for her. I feel like she's going to live a very long time. All right, so that's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm so glad I got to expand upon that point. Yeah. Kim Kardashian. There we go. Do I like her a little bit more? I understand her. I don't love her. But you know what? Hard work pays off. You got to at least admire her for that. I just hope she doesn't touch another Marilyn dress. Like, fuck off. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I do sell astrology courses. They are linked below. And I also have a 50% off deal going for recorded readings. So if you're interested in that, you can purchase them below. And thank you so much. And I'll see you next time. Bye.